Green flag racing so far as Curtis Markham continues to lead. The battle has been right behind him as they try to overlap cars. There is Markham, and you see how big that lead is on Chad Little, Johnny Benson, Danny Edwards Jr., and this man, Jimmy Spencer. Oh, rough and tumble and a spin in turn 2. Mike Dillon goes around. There's his number 12, the Salem National Lease car at the bottom of the apron in 2. No caution. He'll go a lap down. Got together side by side and brushed with Dennis Setzer. There you see the damage to Dillon's car. He's had a lot of success here in the late model stocks.
He's going to have to come in. That right rear looks like it might be dragging in the corner. You see there as he starts in the corner, smoking pretty hard. So they'll have to come in and take that off that tire.
Tough break for Dillon. Now, just in front of Markham, you see the 08 car. Now, that is Dennis Setzer. Now, here's how that happened. Bobby Daughter and his partners, Ronnie and Lee Smith and MPH Racing, the easiest way to describe this, folks, they're divorcing. They're not talking. So they can't work out of the same truck, and he can't drive that car as long as they own part of it. The deal for Bobby to buy out the team and finalize the divorce will probably be finalized Monday. And Bobby's new team, Midwest Motorsports, he'll drive that 08 with Hyde Tools the rest of the year. Today, Dennis Setzer is in it and almost takes a swipe at Curtis Markham there.
Curtis is cutting under him there, and he just got back on the throttle and turned sideways. He got into Daughter. I mean, I knew I'd do that before the day was over. On Setzer's car there, he's got a V6 in that car, and it's not quite as powerful as Curtis Markham's car is.
Bobby Daughter is here. He's in the race. He's driving the Dennis Shoemaker car, the Duraloop machine that has one of our in-car cameras, number 64. Randy?
Well, I just want you guys to know that the rear sway bar is now here in the Busch Series. They tried it. A lot of teams tried it when they went up to Milwaukee in practice. They took it away. They did not run it. Maybe a couple of teams did run it. Curtis Markham's team does have it in. I talked to Jeff Hensley before the race. He swears by it. Says this car needed the rear sway bar, particularly on these short tracks. It doesn't allow the rear to roll over as much. I'm sure Jeff Burton might comment a little bit on the rear sway bar, but I believe, Jeff, over half of the teams running the rear sway bar in this race, and so far, it seems like it's working for Curtis.
Thanks, Randy. We have the first caution of the day, and it comes from Doug Heveron's spin, the Cincinnati Millicron, number 35, spinning right in the middle of the back straightaway. First caution of the day. Let's show you what happened here. What happened to Heveron? Oops.
Well, I tell you, it's really hard to tell right there. I know what's happening right now. He's wanting to slow down real quick.
Mike, he might have had a little bit of help up off that corner there. I would say right now that's a little bit of temper inside that car there.
So the former super modified ace from Oswego, New York is back underway, but he will go a lap down apparently after that spin. 24 cars, 25 cars on the lead lap here at South Boston, Virginia. We'll be right back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Ford Credit 300 on TNN is brought to you by Napa. We keep America running.
Highway transportation provided by Cedar Ridge RV Center, Branchville, New Jersey, featuring Winnebago. Call 1-800-988-4884 and let Joe and the folks tell you why Cedar Ridge is the choice of champions. When we get to Pocono tomorrow to race, buddy, I'll be glad that Cedar Ridge RV is sitting there waiting for us with air conditioning, I'll tell you. Yeah. All right, let's go back to green here. Lap 44. Lap cars to the outside, and Doug Heveron gets back on the lead lap. Curtis Markham and Chad Little in the Harris Teeter number 23 battle for the lead, and Little has the bottom. But can he get the lead?
He's got a good spot there. He's coming off the corner. I believe he might have that preferred line getting in the corner. You see him using all the racetrack up here. He makes Markham go to the wide side.
Chad was able to push the 63 car up enough where he didn't have to get down there on the flat. That was a nice move by Chad.
So Little has the lead. You see David Green battling Jimmy Spencer. And number 12 is Mike Dillon a lap down. A little squeeze play there. 46. That's a DeWalt car. Not only the teammate to Hermie Sadler, but his brother, Elliott, making his Busch debut. Battling the lap cars of Jim Bound and Patty Moise, the two provisional starters.
I think Elliott's won 6 times in a row here in his late model car, so he knows his racetrack. He's just trying to get a good position here, track position.
I tell you what, he and Danny Evans both did a really good job here today.
Boy, oh boy, we got a booth full here. Mark Martin just walked into the booth. Welcome here, man.
Thanks, buddy. It's good to be here. I wish I was out there racing, but this is pretty nice and air conditioned here.
I'm going to tell you what, I'm looking around. There's more race car drivers. Race car drivers go to the race if there's one close enough to get to it.
Well, you know how it is. It's all I've ever done. We raced the IROC race up in Michigan today and stopped back through on our way back to Daytona here.
Finished second overall. That's really neat.
Yeah, it was a good run. It was a disappointment. We missed the chance to win the series. All I had to do is pick up a couple more spots, but I just had a car that wasn't handling good, and I couldn't do better. Dale was in a wreck on the first lap, and all I had to do was just pick up a couple more spots. We were running sixth in the running, and that's the best I could muster. And he beat me by 3 points. So, it's just one of those days.
Well, we're real glad to have you up here. We're going to get back to the racing action now.
Mark Martin will pick up $100,000 for second in the IROC series. So that's a little consolation money. Pretty good deal.
We don't feel so sorry for him anymore.
Not quite. Curtis Markham now in second place, battling with Johnny Benson. That's the battle. A little further back, Danny Edwards. Then it'll be Jimmy Spencer, David Green, Hermie Sadler, Buckshot Jones, Kevin LePage. Then Mike McLaughlin, Elliott Sadler, Jason Keller, Larry Pearson, Jeff Fuller, Tim Fedua, and Dennis Setzer. That's the way they're running here at South Boston.
You know, just before we went away, Curtis Markham had pulled 8, 10, 12 car length lead. Now he's running second. He seems to be losing the handle a little bit. You see Chad Little fighting Doug Heveron right there trying to get by him. But as they go in, Johnny Benson passes him on the outside. They couldn't do that a while ago.
Well, I'm going to tell you, that rear sway bar is a really neat deal, but it's really hard to put it on your race car and just race it without having a lot of testing time with it. And they've done a great job qualifying with it and running with it, but it's really hard just to come out with that thing because it really changes your race car.
Makes a huge difference. Randy?
For the record, Chad Little is not using the rear sway bars. He also is complaining right now the car is a little tight, but also for the record, boy, the temperature has dropped significantly since the start of this race. Just a mere 15 minutes or so ago, a heavy cloud cover coming over. Don't know if that can change the chassis setup a little bit, but it might be working on some of these cars.
There is a huge thunderhead just coming out over turn number 1 that is getting by Doug Heveron. Chad Little has to use a little bit of muscle, and Johnny Benson is there.
Well, you see Heveron there. He's fighting for every inch of ground he can get right now. You see Chad Little trying to take that spot away. He needs to get turned here.
And everybody gets by, but damage to the back of Chad Little's car, and we're under caution.
Well, I tell you, that's just good hard racing right there. The 35 car is trying really hard to stay in the lead lap, and they just got together a little bit.
Let's show you what happened here.
Well, you can see there the 23 car is clearly under him. It's really not banging, but this is when the trouble starts. You just can't do that on these short tracks.
And look at Benson all the way to the bottom, taking the lead.
I tell you, the 23 car could have some damage on that right rear. It didn't look that hard, but yeah, it is a tire down on the right rear, and he's got his rear bumper tore off.
Randy's right there.
Well, it is difficult to know if the rear end is askew. Everybody up and down pit road looking underneath, certainly a flat right rear to say the least. It does look a little askew from my perspective, but it's hard to say. They're having trouble getting the jack under the car. They certainly want to get these tires out so he doesn't go a lap down on pit road. I mean, they're having big time trouble. They've got 8 guys trying to pick this car up. They finally get it up. Tires going on. Chad certainly not happy sitting in this car.
They get it up with the Armstrong method, and the pace car here runs 25 miles an hour, and Chad Little will get out and rejoin the field.
Great work by his crew to get him back out, Mike.
Yes, they did. We'll take this pause as we're under caution for the second time today. Storm clouds rolling in.